It's just been one of those.
Wow.
So good morning,
Good
beauties.
morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Yes, it is Wednesday, November 13th, and we're gonna talk about Saturn today.
I'm
Saturn.
like the only person that will probably ever clap for Saturn. I'm one of those weirdos. I'm like, I don't know. I've just been through enough of the hard work that I'm like, I love Saturn.
Yeah, and I was curious about that because you had said that last night, how you're not like, we'll get into Saturn, and you'll for those of you who aren't really intimately connected with Saturn and what his role is in the universe and where when he shows up in our well we he it always in our year we have a Saturn period. In our life spread, we have a Saturn week, and just like what Saturn represents, Corinna has already alluded to the fact that a lot of people are like, oh gosh, here comes Saturn, like not really excited about it, but there are powerful lessons in it. So I'll look forward to hearing a little bit more, Corinna, about your relationship with Saturn and how and why you're on the other side of fearing him. And really, astrology is not to be feared. And there are parts like we've talked about a lot of beautiful, like the sun and moon. Oh, it's lovely. Venus is great. Jupiter, blah, and
Okay.
Mars, and now we have Saturn. So these are a little bit more considered challenging. And I guess the challenge that I had is I couldn't think of a song. Again, I was trying to think of like a song about fathers, maybe because Saturn is considered in some regards like father time, the father keeper, definitely that male ask traditional, like we have to go into traditional roles of men and women to think about Saturn as like the authority. So let's be thinking collectively of a song about
I
it.
have one.
Oh, you do? What is
The Time one and sorry, I'm the worst at like, I know all these artists and
yeah.
I've known them and I never can remember the names of the songs, but
Sing it?
Pink Floyd, the Time one,
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
that would be a fun one.
Boy. Yeah,
You
I
know
know.
which one I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I
from
don't
Dark
remember if it's
Side.
actually called Time, but
Yeah, from Dark Side of the Moon.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool. And any others that come up? What was the other one? Oh, Cats in the Cradle, I was thinking.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something about the hard work. Like, anyway.
Oh, what's that one song?
Oh, Hard Day's Night by
That's it. Yep.
that old
It's
yeah.
school. Who are they?
been
Maybe
a
you're
hard day.
day's night and I've been
And I've been working
working like a
like a
Beatles.
dog.
It's the Beatles. Yeah.
it
No, it's not
is.
the Beatles. Did they do a remake of that?
Come
Come on up.
on now. You guys ain't that young.
Come on. Come on, Jasper.
Maybe they are, Blythe. Maybe they are that young.
We know, but did somebody else redo it, or is that just it's just the Beatles? And when I say just, anyhow.
I don't think
Okay,
I
so
think
now
it's the
all of a
Beatles.
sudden, see, this is the power of the group, of the collective, because I had zero songs last night and I was like, they were like on the cusp,
Bye-bye.
just boom, boom, three songs.
Voila.
I'll add them to the playlist. Because I think it's just fun to listen to some of the music, and then you're like, wait, what playlist is this? The songs are so random, but they're all astrologically tied together. So, of course, we're going to talk about how to find the Saturn connections, who you are Saturn to, who is Saturn to you, and then what it looks like in relationships, and then also in our life spread, our yearly, our weekly, our spreads. So here we go. Most people are very familiar with Saturn. It is our ringed planet here on the other side of Jupiter. So these start to be called like the outer planets, and Saturn, interestingly enough, and I wish I found an image of this. Some telescopes have been able to see telescopes. I don't even know if they're not telescopes. Yeah, telescopes have been able to see on the surface of Saturn what looks like a six-pointed star.
Hmm.
Something that Robert Lee Camp has shared before in his class on Saturn, which is interesting because Saturn is associated with karma, and that six figure is definitely a part of that. So, uh, except for Carena, no, I'm not saying just except for Carena. Until you're really able to see the upside of Saturn. Most people in astrology kind of fear Saturn, or it is the feared planet because it is the Lord of karma. So it's all about boundaries. It is the teacher in, and sometimes it's hard to learn a lesson. The scales of justice, it's actually considered exalted in the sign of Libra, and Libra is the scales. And if you think about how justice is related to karma, and whenever you have like a karma card, you're being responsible, and the karma cards are the number 6 in the Magi numerologically. Whenever you have a 6 in your spread, it is the karmic number, and you're there to be responsible either, in love and communication, in your finances, in your health, depending on the suit. And it's all about like what you might need to give, or maybe, sometimes karma is like you're going to receive something for your good karma. And also considering that like law of cause and effect. So Saturn is the ruler of the sign of Capricorn. So these are the late December up to mid-January birthdays. And as such, anybody who is Capricorn, their planetary ruling card is their Saturn card. And it kind of just has this double like meaning of Capricorns can be traditionally very hard on themselves. I have a Capricorn daughter and I mean, she's kick ass. She gets a lot of stuff done, but she's also very hard on herself and puts a lot of pressure on herself. And a lot of that has to do with this ruling card being Saturn for again these birthdays that are end of December, mid-January. And Capricorn traditionally rules over the 10th house in astrology. So everybody's chart is a little bit different, but in the traditional sense, that 10th house, which is the very top of somebody's chart, is the house of recognition and success through perseverance. So this is really the upside that Karana was talking about. Like, I like Saturn. Because if you are doing your work, if you are paying your karmic debts, if you are persevering and really looking at your life challenges and how Saturn is wanting to teach and to grow you, you can have tremendous success because Saturn is also an earth, or Capricorn is an earth sign. So it's very practical and it's very much about this world. The world, this material world, and less about, the spiritual stuff, but like, how do you bring it to this world? So this is what is very exciting for Friday night's event, besides the fact that it is at the lovely Magic View and we'll be celebrating the full moon in Taurus. But Saturn has been retrograde in the sign of Pisces since June 29th of this year. And on Friday, the full moon moves direct. So it's whenever a planet comes out of retrograde. So it's been reviewing, going back. I don't have the exact degree points of where it's been in the Pisces area of your chart. Karenna, do you have any idea like degree points that Saturn has covered?
Oh, no, I do not remember that offhand.
Okay, so and that's fine. But basically, it's like in the first Saturn. I want to say like 23 degrees is as far as it got, but it's like going back. And it's the reason where this would be relevant is when you look at your birth chart and you look at your that little piece of pie that is represented by Pisces. You see what area of your chart Pisces, what house it's in. And then you see, like, do you have planets or points where Saturn has maybe done a review over? Anytime that there's a planet in retrograde, it's, I love that Molly McCord calls it astrological chart bingo, so where you look at your chart and you're like, ooh, do I have any planets or points in the sign of Pisces where Saturn has been doing its retrograde? Personally, I don't. My Pisces pie of my chart is completely empty. There's there's no planets there. So it just is, it's not speaking as strongly to me as it would be for somebody like Corinna. Aren't you a Pisces rising?
I am. Yep.
So yeah, it's going to affect you more. And then we also know, well, we haven't got to Neptune yet, but Neptune has been holding, holding at the 29-degree point of Pisces too. But so it'll come out of retrograde, start moving forward on Friday, which is significant that it's going to start moving forward right when, and Pluto is going to move into Aquarius next week. There's going to be a lot more forward movement, but that's where Saturn currently is hanging out. All right. So Saturn connections. What does it mean when you have a Saturn connection? All right.
Sorry, can I interrupt, Blythe? Were you trying to say something?
I'm trying to say something.
Yeah.
Oh,
One
thanks.
there.
Sorry.
Oh crap, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming.
Oh crap.
Okay.
Oh crap. Good.
So we
All
can
right. Thank
relax,
you.
we don't have to worry about her.
Thank you. Sorry, I made the people small so I could see the screen. It's just there's too many things to like move around on this. Thank you, Corinna. Thank you, Mama. We'll see
Yeah.
Mary
Thank
here.
you, whomever.
Yay, there's Mare.
I'm so
Yay.
sorry. So sorry.
We are just delighted that you are here, darling.
Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome to your Wednesday. Let's do this.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
We're just talking about like we're now at the point we're going to talk about connections. This is again, if you are did I hit record? Did anybody see if I hit?
Yes, I heard recorded in
I
front.
heard record. I
excellent.
hit an OK button, so yeah,
Okay,
you're good.
Me
thank you.
too.
Thank you. Okay, so on the high side, and this is where like these are all the qualities that, for example, Karenna can see as the benefit of somebody who's not afraid of this planet is that when you have somebody who is your Saturn card or Saturn to you, you will receive many suggestions that help you to improve your life. They can remind you how you can be more responsible. The relationship with a Saturn connection is often very mature and grounded. Again, Saturn being the ruler of an earth sign, Capricorn, it's very grounded, earthy energy. You can, as a result, have improvements with your career. And again, this goes back to that traditional knowing that Saturn is traditionally the ruler of the 10th house. And the 10th house in everybody's chart refers to career and recognition and being received by the public. And so you can have improvements in that area when you have a Saturn connection. They can help you in that public growth role. And again, same thing, it kind of lifts you to a higher level status where you can achieve more recognition. So Saturn connections are really good for your the advancement of your career. Are you ready for the low side? Here we go. Dun, dun. Okay. So
Oh, that's more.
what's that?
More.
There's more. Yeah, there's this
More
is
than higher.
I just want you to see how like this first bullet point is a positive. You receive many suggestions that help you to improve your life. Partner is critical. Okay, so that is the way it can feel. Like the partner who is your Saturn, whoever this person is, can feel very critical and maybe like you're not doing anything right, right? Like they are excellent at finding all your faults and pointing them out to you.
I know several in
Yeah.
through my life.
Yeah.
You guys met my ex-husband, I see.
Right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've had to have a couple of well, we'll talk about, yeah, I've had a couple Saturn relationships on the other side of my divorce. And this was like the first when I went through the Magi certification program last year and I learned this, I was like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense. The person I had been dating, why it just felt, and I was like, oh, and then once you know better, again, you know better, you do better. I was able to respond totally differently once I understood. Jasper is going crazy. So fighting and bickering, it can often feel like it's your fault at the end of the day. Like there's some way about like, yeah, it's your fault. there might not just not might not feel like there's a lot of joy. Instead, it's just a lot of work, this relationship. You can feel like you're living with a slave driver or a taskmaster. And unfortunately, Saturn at its extreme can be abusive, right? And this has a lot to do with awareness of how we are in a relationship and how mostly what our relationship is with ourselves and what we allow ourselves to receive from another person. So if we're real low and we attract somebody who will just reinforce that behavior, it can be abusive. Um, and then you recognize that you don't deserve that treatment you're receiving from your partner is, I think that's actually maybe an upside. Like when it gets to a place where you're like, you know what, this isn't working for me anymore. And that's what Saturn can do. It can grow you through to recognizing that you deserve better. Yeah, you deserve better. Yeah. Okay. Any thoughts or comments on that? Are you ready to see who some of your people are?
Oh, I already know.
So this affects me. This would affect me if Saturn was one of my ruling planets, or if I had a relationship with somebody, or it's
Correct.
just good to know who's influenced by Saturn.
It's good.
That's how it
So
would
the
help me.
main thing that we always do, one of the most important things, that I help people understand is your roadmap. And that is based on the screen that we'll go to next. There's the spiritual
Okay.
spread, like we'll have a spiritual spread Saturn, and then we have a life path Saturn, like in this life. And it's really interesting when you know who your Saturn card is for life,
Hmm.
but you'll also get like a Saturn card. And again, remember that the cards represent people, but also not but and also the idea. So everybody has a Saturn card or two, or in Sherry's instance, being a Scorpio, three
Neighbors.
Saturn
Three.
cards. Yeah, I know, lucky you. So,
Oh my gosh, that would explain so much of Scorpio people.
oh yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
Right?
What
Like you
what
guys, you have to
Got a
deal
lot
with
going
some like
on.
you guys you deal with really frustrating people more than the rest of us. Wow.
thank
Literally.
you for that acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And also you get as many blessings by
Yeah.
Jupiter, but yes,
There you
like
go.
Saturn, no matter what in life, like we tend to feel negative feelings and like there's something about the negative side that we feel it stronger,
Yeah.
and it has a greater impact on us because that's what ultimately is the checker upper, the waker upper. Okay. So
Oh, good. Can't wait.
here we go. Okay, so again, just this should you. I think everybody will be seeing a pattern now. Now it's your fifth card. So traditionally, the number six is associated with Saturn. It's the fifth card in your path because we live on planet Earth, so we don't count our own card. So don't be confused by this. It is the fifth card in your life spread. In your life spread, next year. I am moving into my Saturn period. And this is a really important critical year. Age 52
Whoa.
is considered a critical year for everybody because you're moving into Saturn. It is actually strangely enough, a Jupiter year for anybody when you move into 52. So it is because you're now stepping into this recognition, this hard work. 52 is considered a really fortunate year for most people. So if you're under the age of 52, as you're working towards 52, especially 50, 51, like really putting all your energies into achievement, you can reach great achievement at age 52. If you're already beyond that, it might be something worth reflecting on, like what happened when you were age 52. So it rules over ages 52 to 64 is when you're in your Saturn period. It is in your year It is the fifth 52-day period. Remember, we have 7 52-day periods in a year. 7 times 52 is 364. So that's how our years are divided. So everybody has a Saturn period. And that period changes depending on your birthday. I will be entering my Saturn period. My Saturn period is always over Christmas time. So yay. It's the fifth day of your energetic week. And again, Saturn, when you have your Saturn day, this is a great day for health appointments because it's career health is a lot of the associations with Saturn. It's a good day to work. My Saturn day happens to be a Sunday. And so obviously I can't make a lot of medical appointments on Sundays, but I do tend to like I do readings on Sundays. I often write on Sundays, but I will definitely do some work on a Sunday, whereas most people might look at Sundays as a day of rest. For me, energetically, it works for me to work on Sundays. And yeah, you're gonna the focus is on hard work and health challenges because again, Saturn has that, unlike Jupiter, Saturn has that more I'm gonna say negative. Yeah, the negative connotation with it. Like it is going to teach you something, but it's gonna through challenges. Okay, so fifth card, and we can look to the left, you can go up, and there are a couple that will have mutual Saturn connections diagonally. And you'll see in a minute that that's harder to do the further out you go. For example, my 10 of diamonds being in the center of the spread, there's no fives. I can't go out five. So you have to have like a corner card for that to happen. So we'll look at that in a second. So we have lifetime, yearly, weekly Saturn periods, which reflect the themes of hard work, health challenges, being responsible. And as always, it represents the idea of the card, can also represent a person with whom you'll likely to be challenged to learn something about being more responsible, self-disciplined, and I love this, adult-like, right? Okay, so here we go, identifying your Saturn cards. So I'm going to start again, like I just said, with the 10 of diamonds. You see how, let's just look at the verticals first, because verticals are the both ways. I have a lot of vertical Mars connections, but I don't have any Saturn vertical. And if it's I'm sorry, that's diagonal.
Yeah.
However, let's look at the Queen of Diamonds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, not for you either. So the vertical one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, Jasper, you're gonna have to chill out. Okay, but Karenna does. The Jack of Diamonds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any Ace of Clubs person, you guys have that mutual Saturn. So you both are teaching each other. Oops. I look at Saturn as the teacher. What about up here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, look at Mom and Mare. 1, 2. No, wait, is that right? 1, 2. Nope, that's 4. You guys are mutual Jupiter. That's nice. So Mare, you also don't have. Oh, but the 3 of Hearts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 3 of Hearts with the King of Clubs, you have mutual Saturn. So King of Clubs, again, that's
Chloe.
Chloe. So you guys are teaching each other. And it's really interesting that I'm looking for, I don't think Sherry on your 9.
No.
Your 9, you have so many cards.
Just
Let's
hang in there.
the 9. And where's the Queen of Spades? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Queen of Spades, 3 of Diamonds. You have that mutual. Um, when the Magi mentors are matched with a student. So I'm a mentor in Robert Lee Camp's program that just started last week. They look for Saturn connections. They want the mentor to be Saturn card to the mentee. And so this is something really powerful, like to understand that when you are Saturn to somebody, you are a great teacher to them, right?
Is it only in the life spread, did you say?
No, so past
Okay.
life Saturn, can be more oh, where did I just put that? What did he say? Like the spiritual spread Saturn. No, we have the connections all over here too. So I want you guys practice counting it out while I look. But
You
past
said 5 diagonal, right? Not
diagonal
across.
is just the mutual. Like that one is the like let's start there because there aren't many of those.
Okay.
Otherwise, you count to the left and down, or you count up
Okay, okay.
and you stay in the same column. Um, Saturn relationships in the spiritual spread over here are about past life debts. So the main purpose of that relationship will be to settle a debt from usually from past lives. So that's where you're like, great, what did I do in my last life? Where my 4 of spades, I've got like the card, the 9 of spades is my direct Saturn card in the past life. So um yeah. But all Saturn connections teach us about being fair, loving ourselves. Ultimately, that is like the highest thing that we learn from these relationships and becoming more responsible. So what I find very fascinating is that my mama, Ace of Diamonds, is my direct Saturn card in this life. And that's kind of nice because, you know, traditionally, like a parent teaches a child, as my mom has taught me many things in my life and continues to teach me. So I was thinking about this though, like in terms of the Magi mom, like how, like how often I hear you say, like, I'm just not getting it. I don't quite understand
Yeah.
it. And it's quite possible that it's because you're Saturn to me, not the other way around. Like that I am not like the best teacher for you. Like it's actually you are a great teacher for me. So
Good luck.
just
I can
something,
so see that.
just something to throw
No,
out
that
there.
makes sense. That
Uh-huh.
makes sense to me,
Yeah.
looking from the outside, you guys' relationship.
Hmm. Yeah. So
Totally makes sense.
I've been thinking about that, and I've just, you know, I met last year. The Ace of Diamonds was my long range card, and I dated a couple Ace of Diamonds people. I did not understand the significance of Saturn when I entered into those relationships. And they were very, like, one was just very, very critical of me. And very hard, but I have had to learn a lot about myself and like with things that I could. I was like, oh, he's actually pointing out things that I could do better. Um, but I have decided that this card, it is out of play. I am not going to date another Ace of
No more Ace of Diamonds.
no more Ace of Diamonds. That is like, and then for my 10 of diamonds, no, you know, like dating a 5 of hearts would not be good for me. That is my other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's my other Saturn card. Okay.
My dad was my king of clubs
Oh, interesting. So,
trip.
in this like mutual, your dad
Hmm.
was a king of clubs. So you guys were
Yeah.
mutual teachers to each other.
Hmm.
Feels different when the energy goes both ways versus when it's directed one way. Um, Mom, I think it is also interesting for you to know. I think I've pointed this out, but the Jack of Diamonds, I want to show you how you count this. It's up 1, 2, 3, and then you stay in the same column 4, 5.
Huh.
That means the Jack of Diamonds, which in your life is Russ and Nora and Dennis,
Oh, yeah.
are
Wow.
Saturn to you.
Hmm.
So there's something about, and not only Saturn, but for your 7 of clubs, they're Pluto to you. We have, which just means that through the relationship with these people, they are teaching you mostly, again, about being fair, about loving ourselves, being more responsible and adult like, be more self-disciplined because it's in the reflection of how you are with them that you like what you learn about yourself. So there's something, it's just interesting to note that you have two really, well, you have yeah, that your card has, you have some Saturn energy, but it's not, I also want to remind everybody, like the Ace of Diamonds to the Four of Spades, that's pretty big. The Jack of Diamonds to the Ace of Diamonds, that's a pretty big, like strong, like one of probably the most powerful connections. Other connections that we have with the card can soften the Saturn influence or can make it really intense. So it's not just a one and done connection. One, two. Yeah. Okay, what questions do you guys have? Have you identified, and I know Sherry's got like so much to identify over here. Um, has everybody been able to identify or have questions about what their Saturn cards are? And
Do I have one?
so
What are
for
mine?
so Kimber, so here you are. We're gonna look because the most important Saturn card to know about is your I would say is your life path card. And that's what like really when I talk about your soul roadmap, this is what I'm talking about. Like
Okay.
this life, this thing. So for you, Kimber, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 of clubs. So 7 of clubs is the card of spiritual knowledge. So Saturn is teaching you to go to the higher side of thinking and let go of negative thinking. So that is the idea behind the 7 of clubs. And 7 of clubs people are your teachers. So guess what? Mom, you are just all over Saturn. This is mom. This is my mom's second card is the 7 of clubs. This is Phil.
Oh, she is my
Right?
teacher. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a great guru.
Yeah, there you go. So you can learn a lot from a 7 of clubs person. Now, of course, this is my mom's secondary card. It's not as strong as like for me, it's birth card to birth card, this 4 of spades to ace of spades. So for you, birth card, queen of diamonds to birth card, somebody whose first card is the 7 clubs is a stronger than having it as like in my mom's case as the planetary ruling card. So for example,
Uh-huh.
I happen to know that Phil Ticer, I don't know, is a 7 of clubs person, right? Like that's, but I don't know that you guys have much of a relationship outside of, maybe social engagements and stuff. But somebody who is a 7 of clubs is here to teach you. So this is an important card to know about. And then you are also for your 3 of spades, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a jack of clubs person is your Saturn
Ashley.
card. And that
That's
is,
all my family.
it's all Ashley. Yeah. And the Jack of Clubs is it's the spiritual initiate into creative ways of thinking and sharing our knowledge. So both of your teachers, it from a thematic sense, are about learning spiritual or leaning into the higher side of spiritual knowledge. Both of them, clubs are all about knowledge, right? Wisdom, communication as well. And 7, like if you're going to learn from it, you learn how to go high versus low. So that spiritual knowledge. And same with jacks. The downside is deception, dishonesty. Yeah, of jacks. Okay, so
Got it. Thank you.
those are for your lifetime. Now, again, we have them every year. We get different Saturn cards every year because like we're moving. Like we're the only constant is change in life. So every year we get new cards that come in and will influence our Saturn period. And so that's something to be aware of. Okay, who else has questions about their
Can I just watch you do one more? Because I think I'm missing a step.
Okay, I'm gonna start. I'll do yours. Okay.
Okay.
And we're
Mhm.
gonna just look at our life spread because again, it's the most important. And yours is tricky. So to count the 10 of clubs, it's Mercury. Well, it is Mercury. 1, 2. Where do I go from the King of Spades? This is the last card that's laid down. What's the first card? And what's the first card you lay down when you quadrate the deck? Where does this go?
3 of Hearts.
That goes to my, yeah, I would go over to the 3 of Hearts.
Yeah.
That's right. So it's kind of crazy, but this is the last card when you quadrate the deck, that's the last card that's laid down. This is the first card that's laid down. It's easier to see that in this spread. The first card, Ace of Hearts, last card, King of
Mm-hmm.
Spades. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Queen of Clubs is your lifetime Saturn card. So anybody who is a Queen of Clubs is going to teach you, challenge you. The idea of the Queen of Clubs is that of inner knowing, of like the master of the mother of intuition is what this card is called. Um, so you're here to learn about, yeah, your intuitive gifts and to
Then-
master that.
So I have to find that person because it's not in my family. So
Ah,
put a want it out.
okay, a Queen of Clubs person. And then for your 3 of Hearts, and then also probably not the funnest person to date. So
Good
just
to know.
FYI.
Good
1,
to know.
2, 3, 4, 5. The 3 of Diamonds. So you go from the 3 of Hearts. So the 3 of Diamonds would be your second lifetime Saturn card.
Hmm.
And the 3 of Diamonds is that card of financial creativity, like different ways of making money, different avenues of doing that. So learning how to do that, being taught uh, how to do that. Do you know any 3 of Diamonds people?
That's what I'm scanning. My nephew Justin
Mm-hmm.
and oh Kylie, my granddaughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's noting. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's always interesting when there is a hierarchical, like an age difference
Mm-hmm.
when somebody younger than you is your teacher. And we've got to just throw that paradigm out the window that like I'm older, I know better. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot that like, and same with you, Mom, like with Nora, there's a lot that young people can teach us, and some of them carry incredible wisdom and might teach us in unexpected ways, but just to know who these people are is helpful. Yeah.
You know what's a weird like parallel is Justin was my firstborn boy, my
Okay.
firstborn, and Kylie's my first granddaughter. Like
Oh,
they're my both my firsts.
okay. Yeah.
Just weird. I thought that was kind of
Yeah.
cool. I have no idea if it means anything, but to me it will.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
ultimately at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Like when you see
Mhm.
patterns, like that's what all of this is helping you identify patterns in your own life, identifying patterns, yeah, like how people come in and out
Mhm.
of your experience, and seeing where you have connections with people directly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm. You'll have to tell me if there's any Queen of Clubs in our circle that I have not met yet.
You know, Hillary is a Queen of Clubs.
Oh, cute.
So it's
Okay.
her secondary. She's a 5 of Clubs. No, she's a Queen of Clubs first. That is her planetary, that is her birth card. 5 of Clubs. Sorry, gosh, Queen of Clubs, 5 of Clubs. That's Hillary. So there you go. Yeah.
Hmm.
So what you're saying is you take the life card, like mine's the 9 of Hearts,
Yeah.
and then I go to the 7, the 5, the Queen, and the Jack.
And
Okay.
then you land here. So yours is
Yeah.
the 9 of Diamonds, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
So 9 of Diamonds is all about like, I mean, that's another 9 energy. And the 9 of Hearts, has, yeah, a life path, like a very spiritual life path. That is a nice way to say like that there's going to be opportunities for so much growth, but the 9 of Diamonds is about, releasing, letting go of um finances and values. So it could be that outflow of money and inflow of money. It's just like ebbs and flows. And also change, like values can be the same way. Do you know any 9 of Diamonds people?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Like none come off like based on like, if you look at Stacy, Kevin, Stacy,
No, I don't
Karen,
think so. I
Carrie,
marked them all, but no.
haven't. Yeah. So that's one of yours. And then you are also the Queen of Spades. And so this is the most powerful one, is the Nine of Diamonds for you.
Okay.
Okay. For the right, you're also Queen of, what are the other two? You're a queen and a king. Is it? I just have to remember. I think it's
Yeah, Queen of Spades and King of Clubs.
okay. There you go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's interesting there because the King of Clubs is the Saturn card to the Queen of Spades. So you are in some way Saturn to yourself, as are all Capricorns. All Capricorns are Saturn to themselves, which puts that like and also Queen of Spades is the master of will and all knowing. And so like it's almost like a reflection, like this is, you are your own teacher. Like you don't need to go to outside people to help teach you. You can teach from within. You can learn from within. Um, but if you know a King of Clubs person, they'll help you, they'll assist you in that learning.
Yeah.
And then for your king, it's 1, 2, and then this is same for you, Corinna. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, the Eight of Hearts. And the Eight of Hearts is the card of emotional power. The card of
Oh,
power, yeah. So again, if you know an Eight of Hearts person, and also just the concept of learning your own power of your emotions, how to be responsible with your emotions. Because
I feel like that is something that I learned a lot in this lifetime that I like really had to work on when I was
yeah,
younger.
yeah, and when you notice that you're doing the work, like you said,
Ginger, I'm doing nothing with you.
like
Oh,
you're talking to Ginger.
oh my God. Yes.
Leave me alone. Well,
Is
Ginger
this
should be out
animal
with
food?
Jasper because Jasper is doing the same thing here.
Damn.
Um, but when you face stuff like that, like you just said, Corinna, it makes it less challenging for sure because if you look at, when you're not doing the work, when you're not looking at yourself, when you're not really trying to grow personally, that you can take things personally, you can make assumptions, all of those four agreement things, because you're not doing your own
Mhm.
inner work, and then it doesn't feel good. That's the Saturn card. But when you do the inner work of taking power for your emotions and then using that charm, like there's a lot of charm in the Eight of Hearts card, then you can and then it's less scary. It's like, I've faced these challenges and I can face them again, because you can look at your previous life experience, but like, I've been through that. I can get through this, and it's less scary. And I also think that to a certain degree, because the second Ace of Diamonds person that I dated is also a Three of Clubs, which for me personally is my Pluto and Saturn. I don't recommend it. However, like we're still friends. This is Patrick, y'all, who's coming on Friday
Mhm.
night, be our fire tender. Like we're great,
Yay.
we're great friends, and because I have this theory that it I had a theory about it being a reversal, because I found early on that I've been doing so much personal growth work since the divorce, even before the divorce, that um that I kind of felt like, and I hadn't seen as much, personal growth work on Patrick initially, that I was seeing faults in him. I felt like there was a reversal in energy. And I'm still playing with that. And I don't know if that is something when somebody is doing the work and another person isn't, if the energies are switched, which I also see perhaps, mom in the case here, because I've meditated a lot on the fact, that Russ is Saturn to you rather than the other way around. And so I don't, because I do see you doing a lot of personal growth work, not I don't see that in Russ, right? So like, is it, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this, but it is a question that I have been just contemplating, and yeah, I would love to know more, Karena, about like your Saturn journey. Like why you feel so like bring it on.
I mean, it's kind of just what you said in the beginning about the high and low side and the high side of being like overcoming challenges. I mean, it's just like
Mhm.
it's like it makes it all the more sweeter, when you like work through something that was really hard in your life and then you're like, wow, like I worked on that for a lot of years, like, and it paid off. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of, just yeah, one of those things where it helps me through the times when I'm like, wow, like what is going on with business or whatever, or life or relationships where it's just like, okay, something's just kind of not working very well, and I know I'm doing the work, and it's just like, okay, just keep going, keep doing the work because you will get there. It's an
Yeah.
encouragement
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. That's awesome. Mom and Sherry, do you see a connection between the two of you here?
I've always seen a connection. I was thinking, in the beginning, you were talking about these people that live around me. Uh, your mom moved in after I was able to break that cycle with them. But yeah, no, that was the anchor that. But in relation to people that you're with that aren't working on themselves,
Yeah.
I found for me, I worked harder on myself, within myself,
Mm.
not necessarily saying a word about it. So they gave me energy to do my own work and worth, actually.
Yes. Yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. But watch this, Mom. I know I counted vertically, but if you
Ah,
count other way, your direct life path, Mom, Mercury, are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And that,
Sherry is Saturn to you. Sherry is your teacher.
hey, Cher.
Right? And I think about all the retreats that were hosted at the sanctuary and all the learning that you've done. So I think that that's cool. And your
yeah,
teacher also, Mom, in a higher sense, is that the Nine of Hearts is the letting go of love, of yeah, releasing old love stories
yeah,
and relationships, and that is also from and sharing the higher spiritual side of love, like what you learn from that with others. And clearly, we've seen, with a couple of marriages, like that's it's just part of your life path that you were meant to use all the relationships are meant to grow you spiritually, for sure.
Interesting.
So that's neat when you see like all this time, like that's a really powerful connection between you two in this life. I could do, yeah. And then your 7 of clubs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is the 7 of spades, which is the card of faith. The card of
the
faith.
card of faith.
Faith. Yeah. It's the 7 of all 7. So it is the like really health and career and spirituality are tied into that 7. There aren't many 7 of spades people. Uh, you know, Nikki McGregor, the Gathering of Light Workers, um, creator of that, she is a 7 of spades, which I love because she's, that's a very spiritual card, the card of faith. So if you happen to meet a 7 of spades person, they're your second Saturn card.
They're your second what?
Your second Saturn card.
Saturn card.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, and so I would say this also, because I talked first for you, Mom, about the Jack of Diamonds being your Saturn card. This is not your life path. This is called just your secondary or your vertical Saturn card. It is not as strong as this one. The Nine of Hearts is your life path. Your life path reads this way. It reads horizontally. So this Nine of
You
Hearts
want to come on? Can you
is
jump?
a stronger Saturn connection than the Jack of Diamonds. Just FYI, because it's your life path. So when you were between ages 52 and 64, the Nine of Hearts was the ruler of that period.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will listen to this again and again and again.
Thank you. Sorry I have to go.
All right, no problem. Great to see you, Corinna. Bye. Okay. I'm gonna wrap it up because I know that we're just about at time. And who knows, maybe Sherry would do a better job teaching you this than I would. Because she's your Saturn card versus yeah, the way that our energy flows.
Got a lot of work ahead of her.
We've done
Next
a
week
lot of work together.
yeah. We'll talk about Uranus next week, the 20th. And then just a reminder that this Friday we are headed out to Kimber's place, Beautiful Crystals and Gifts, to celebrate. And I'm really, really excited about what I'll be sharing. And I hope that it just really resonates with you all because I know you're
Yeah.
all coming. Corinna will be there as well. And one of the things that I want to just have you consider, dun, 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 is a solstice weekend getaway. I am putting my feelers out. This is Trinity Hot Springs. These are a couple pictures of Trinity Hot Springs. It's in Pine Featherville, which is about 2 hours outside of Boise. You go out towards Mountain Home, you turn left on Highway 20 as if you're going to Ketchum and then you go down into this beautiful little valley. So it is a huge hot springs that has this dome that's covered in the winter. There's a couple hot tubs here, but I'm looking to rent the chalet there for this weekend, and I want to lead a workshop on navigating your winter roadmap that would take you through like your specific energies of the winter season, wherever you are. For me, like I said, I'll be in my Saturn period, and I think is it all in my Saturn Uranus period, but everybody will be in a different period. Like Sherry, you just had your birthday, so you're still in Mercury. You'll probably be in like your winter roadmap looks like navigating your Venus and your Mars period, and just like what that might mean. So
Okay.
before I go all in, I'm just going to be putting feelers out here first, and then I'll be sharing this with the group on Friday night to see if there's enough interest. It would be about room for about 8 people to come and have this workshop and just really, take care of yourselves as we move into the final days of 2024, which I can't even believe I'm saying that. How you'll like ground into yourself and like feed your soul before the week of Christmas and New Year's and everything that just kind of feels like it's a flurry. So it's like a moment to take a pause and a time out. So just want to float that out there that this is one of the ideas that I am kicking around in my brain, and I'm talking with Trinity right now about lodging and all of that. But there's not a lot that is there before I like go all in. I just wanted to gauge like, would people be interested in this?
I'm gonna put it on my calendar. I really, really, my spirit got excited the minute you started talking about it.
Oh, cool.
So I'm putting it
Cool.
on my calendar. Yeah.
Cool. Now, the one caveat that I would say with going here is that we need to make sure because as you can see, there can be snow on the roads. Of course, it's plowed
There'll be
and stuff,
snow.
but it would be like it's a mountain. We're in the mountains, Pine
Good boy.
Featherville.
Good boy.
Um, So a four-wheel drive would be necessary, and we can arrange carpooling and stuff like that. But yeah,
Bill's
yeah,
having
I
surgery
got,
on the 19th, so I won't be able to, but I would love to,
Oh,
but yeah,
Mm,
won't be able to.
okay.
But
What
you
time,
guys can use Pearl. She's 4 by.
Carl? Okay,
Yeah, you can use her.
yeah,
and she holds a lot of bodies,
She
that's an
does.
idea.
cool.
right? And mine is capable too.
Uh,
Awesome. Awesome. So think about it. I will
Okay.
be sharing that with the group, and if it feels like there's enough interest, then I'll build it out, price it out. But
Okay.
it wouldn't be more than $500, I think, for the weekend. Because the lodging there is pretty affordable, and yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. But that's the
And the
hope.
water's hot.
The water
Okay,
is
good, good. And hey,
amazing. It's yeah, the water is actually the main pool itself isn't steaming hot. When you go into the they have pools off to the side that are hot, and then the dome is very hot. Yeah. It's just beautiful though. It's like one of my favorite things to do is to float in that water and look up at the night sky. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, one of my happiest places. So
Nice.
I would love to share that with
I need to
people.
go. I hear about it all the time in different places. So yeah, I'm in.
Cool.
Yeah, and if people want to bring a folding chair or their like camping chair, it might be a good idea on Friday.
Okay, I'll look and see
Oh,
what.
Because I have like 10 folding and, you know, probably eclectic, another 10,
Okay, I'll put that
right?
in the email I'm going to send out an email tomorrow to everybody about what.
Karen is coming in.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, so that won't work for me, but
Okay.
I'll go there mentally, spiritually.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, how fun. That'll be nice to have Karen in town. Okay. Okay.
Can I just throw something personal in?
Yes.
We have my whiner here, but Stacy's dog was in ER last night and has arthritis throughout, and it's really difficult. Um, he's limping back to his bed right now. And tomorrow I'm going to go and we're going to say goodbye to Pirate. Yeah,
Oh, Kevin and Carrie.
but that's a heaven sent as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
He's really been a trooper. So kind of think of his family.
Okay. Yeah, that's a heart.
Yeah.
That's a tough.
But I'll
Yes,
be
thank you. Thank you for mentioning it. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
we'll be there with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I'm gonna go check off some stuff off my list.
All right.
Love you
I'm going to go study the meaning of some of the cards. Goodness.
Cool.
guys.
Let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, yeah, you've got more work to do than the rest of us.
Yeah.
I have one. I'm currently in my Saturn period,
Yes.
and it's the 8 of Spades, which is my work card,
Work.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
That is a really strong card to have in your Saturn period because Saturn can be challenging. And the eights, anytime you have an eight, you have the power to overcome. You have the ability, like you have, like just keep, going.
Okay.
Like your work will be rewarded. It will be good for you. It's a stabilizing energy in your Saturn period.
Okay, cool.
So keep on working, girl.
Love it, love it. And I'll listen to the recording because I feel like I missed a lot. You unpacked a lot the first 15 minutes. Dang.
It's all good.
I'll get it all.
All good. All right. Well, love you all. Have a great Wednesday and look forward to seeing you on Friday,
Friday.
the full
Okay.
moon.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely. Everybody.
Bye,
Okay,
everybody.
bye.
Bye.